I wish I could have been at Charles's house to watch him kick everybody out.
That's ridiculous.
I still have no idea what anyone's talking about.
They had a promposal.
I didn't subject you to it, Chris. You're welcome.
A promposal. Never heard of it before in my life.
Welcome to 5 Idiots Talking Toys. I'm Shane, and we're here with a reaction video. We're going to do an episode starting with the new trailer that just dropped for Fallout, the new Amazon Prime series based on the video game that everyone in the gaming world knows well and loves. It's a very well-regarded game. Was highly reviewed, and many of us spent hours and hours and hours playing this game. So now it's a series that is looking really, really exciting from the trailer. We're going to share that with the boys. Some of us have seen it, some of us have not. And then we're also going to release this, just the trailer reaction, but we're also going to talk about some other video games that we've known over time that have turned into movies and series. So if you're watching this trailer reaction, check out our channel as well for the full episode about video games in the media. Let's bring the fellas in now. John Walden is here. Sergeant John is here. Charles.
Sergeant Slaughter. Hello?
Charles, you're coming from a childless basement?
Childless. Yep.
Childless basement.
Yep.
Your brother is in his childless basement. When are we having Jeffrey come back? Is that still on the table, or?
So Jeffrey's legs completely got crushed, and he's no longer around.
Oh no!
Poor Jeffrey.
He's out on the
out.
My kids thought that you were able to sit on him and actually ride him.
Oh.
You threw him out though?
He is upstairs in the nursery now, overlooking the crib.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. We thought he was out on the curb with your IKEA Daltoffs or whatever.
Next to John's his star cases too.
Yes. Brandon Alamo is here. There he is. Hi.
Oh, John, did you just come from a war?
As a matter of fact, that's what it felt like today.
You'll refer to him as Sergeant, please?
Yeah, it's Sergeant.
Sergeant Waldo.
Yes.
I've realized that Brandon doesn't change his clothes for any episode. He only changes his hat. Just his hat.
Not even.
All
Very
right, fellas.
rarely.
Some people are here for our reaction to the Fallout trailer. So without further ado,
I loved it.
Without further ado, here we go.
I like cons.
Prime.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place. A veritable Camelot of the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man. You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
Oh, here we go.
Does this have like aliens in it?
No.
The mission of the vaults should be important to everyone.
It's like those affected by nuclear radiation.
Nice.
To come up to the surface one day and restart civilization.
Is that Jawa's
Can you
skiff?
tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
It's the katana.
200
Holy
years.
shit. You're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
What you're doing is insane.
I don't set the world.
It isn't like the vault out there. It's big.
Higher. I just want to start.
I've had a rough week. Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
In my
You need to go home.
You come from a world of rules, of laws. You should not be alone.
Why did you join the Brotherhood?
To hurt the people who hurt me?
People are going to come after you.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty. Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs. You look out at this wasteland, looks like chaos, but there's always somebody behind the wheel.
Everyone wants to save the world. They disagree on how.
There you are, you little killer.
All right, April 11th, and I didn't notice that the first time I watched it earlier today that they'll drop the whole season at once, which I like.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what? Somebody jump in. Give us your initial reaction. I know that not everyone here is familiar with the game, but what did you think of the trailer? Just on its merits as a show.
I mean, I'm very interested. Actually, I like dystopian stuff like that, and I also like Walton Goggins. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Look at Charles.
Walton Goggins?
Who's Lady Gaga? Who's Lady Gaga?
Walton Goggins.
Never heard of that.
So
He's the main guy.
I'll be on the opposite of John. So we're gonna go belly to belly right now. That looked horrible. I wouldn't watch it. It looks like it's boring. The music was cool. Other than that, looks horrible.
As someone who knows the game and played the game, I think there's a lot they're not showing us. I almost think like it wasn't the greatest trailer because there's probably going to be a lot more that it didn't even touch on, which I'm also hopeful of.
It wasn't that good.
It's like it just reminded me of another post-apocalyptic thing like The Walking Dead, where someone's trying to go out and scavenge stuff, and then they find people who don't want them there, and they try to kill them, and it's kind of like another one of those. I don't know. Nothing really wowed me from that preview.
I actually did play this game when I was younger. The only games I ever played were end of the world, like role-playing games or zombie games. So this game was right up my alley. Like Shane said, there's certain parts that remind me of the game. I kind of feel like there's going to be a lot more that they're holding back on that they didn't show us, or I'm hoping that at least they do end up showing us. But, watching it did bring me back to playing the video game because the music and like the black and white stuff or like that corny stuff.
I'll watch it.
It's the game itself is very, very stylized, and it's almost hard to describe if you haven't played it. Yeah. Because again, it starts where you're in a different era than we're currently in, and people are worried about nuclear war, and they buy these vaults, these bomb shelters. They live in this underground world where they're protected, but they obviously have, a limited life. And then all of a sudden, they're still living like they've been in a standstill time-wise. They think the world is still like it was when they went in, and they come out after all these years, and there's children that were born in the vault and grew up thinking things were like the 50s, and they come out, and it's the future, and it's a wasteland, and it's a nuclear fallout. So there's that old-timey style mixed in with this like Mad Max radiation wasteland dystopia. So
have you watched Silo?
That is
No.
exactly what I was thinking, Charles.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's the same.
Yeah,
Same
but
premise.
But Fallout came 30 years before Silo.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Silo, like shot a 3-pointer from half court and they got it in. Like it's like really good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I just read recently. I know that has nothing to do with it, but Silo season 2 is going to be coming out soon, also.
Okay.
So
I'm not even familiar with that one.
Very good show. I didn't watch it. Charles told me about it. I put it on thinking it was going to be like whatever, and then it was really good. I got really into it.
And what was that on Netflix?
It's on Apple.
Apple.
Oh,
but
Apple.
But you can watch it on Apollo.
Okay.
It's the same like premise. Like they live in a silo, and outside of the silo is like nuclear like war. Like it's like radiation out there.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up as a kid, these games weren't really a lot of people's like most played with. Like they weren't really interested in this. Like stuff like this, I was always interested in. But I know like a lot of my friends, they would be into like sport games, like hockey and football and stuff like that. So
a lot of people like that game.
Don't. I know exactly what you're saying, Chris, but don't make the mistake of saying like it's a numbers wise, because it was like game of the year type game.
I remember, I'm saying that the type of game, like end of world type stuff, might not be up everyone's alley.
Right.
What was Fallout on?
PlayStation.
Yeah.
It might have been on Xbox too, but
I probably had
PlayStation.
it. Then.
PlayStation 3.
Remember. I don't remember it.
PlayStation 3, and then they came out with Fallout New Vegas, which I didn't play because it was like right as I was like starting a family and stuff, and just didn't have the time to sit any longer. And now I'm kind of getting back into some of the newer Nintendo games with my kids, and it's just kind of fun to put something on for a half an hour and not be too invested in it and be able to put it down.
I want to buy one of those like old retro gaming systems. It's like $100, and you'll have every Nintendo game that ever came out and stuff like that, all on the system. I would love to be able to play.
I have my Super Nintendo hooked up. We play it all the time.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to say goodbye to anybody who's watching this for the trailer reaction. Thanks for tuning into 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. Let us know what you thought about the trailer for this new show. Amazon Prime has got a pretty good track record for the shows that they've been putting out. I'm not talking about just, The Boys and
Rings of Power,
Jack Reacher, and like things that we all have been talking about. There's a lot of other shows that I've seen on Prime over the last bunch of years that I really like, comedies as well. So they have a good track record, in my opinion, so I'm excited. But we're also going to jump now into talking about some other things that come to mind that you've either liked or disliked that have come from video games into the media. A lot of times there's been video games when we were younger, and you're talking about, the beginnings with Atari and, of course, Nintendo. A lot of games were made from the movies. They were merchandising the movie, E.T. and, Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Alien video games and things like that. And, of course, Star Wars. But there's a lot less that have gone the reverse way until, the last 25 years and more recently. Throw out a name or two, guys. What have you seen that, has come originally from a video game that you have an opinion of?
Halo.
I love the video game Jaws.
Jaws was a hard video game. I had that.
I know.
For Nintendo.
I loved it. It was so fun. So fun.
That was after a movie, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's doing the opposite.
I'm just saying.
Charles always has to do the opposite.
He's doing the opposite of what Shane said.
Right. All right, so Brandon, you said Halo. Now, I was not an Xbox guy until later on, like 360. So I never played Halo, and I haven't watched the show, but I know how big it is.
We'd always play it on deployment, and we'd hook up 2 Xboxes together on the ship and run like 8 controllers in 2 different rooms, and people would be playing that all night.
Yeah. I was a Call of Duty guy back when.
Yeah, we do the same thing with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And Halo, same thing. The first.
You can do that.
Games. Yeah.
2 consoles, 8 controllers in different rooms. How do you see the TV?
And battle like online, right?
You battle on a big. Yeah, you just have a big TV and you can see everybody on there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a lot. I mean, some people are really good at it, and other people like really suck because they're not used to it. But
yeah,
it's a lot to handle. But I mean, yeah. So that game, those games are huge, and then now they just started off. I mean, they made toys after Halo, and now they have the movie. Right? There's a couple Halo movies, I think.
Is it a movie or a
There's
series?
a series.
It's a series.
Series, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I don't know. I just know that that was one of the things.
I mean, that's like
played Halo
Microsoft's
forever.
tentpole game, right?
Yeah.
For Xbox. I mean, Halo is it.
That's the original. Like that's the original hit. That's the original game right there. I crushed that game. One of my friends had his own house growing up, like in our early 20s, and my best friend lived upstairs. My best friend lived in the basement. So it was three of my like closest friends in the same house. So I would come over there every single day, and we would just the four of us sit there and play Halo the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun.
Has anybody here seen the show yet?
No.
So we're gonna have to. Yeah, I mean, we're always talking to each other, looking for the next show. We're gonna have to jump into that. I don't know how it's been reviewed, but the one that jumped into my head first, just like kind of working backwards, starting from longer ago, was Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
You know, the Resident Evil movies with Mia Djokovic, something like that. Though, I mean, who didn't play Resident Evil? I mean, amazing. Resident Evil 2, really hit the stride.
Loved it.
John, how dare you?
I definitely played the first, I don't even know, maybe 4 of them, 5 of them maybe, and I love those games. Again, huge fan of anything zombie, anything end of the world. Sign me up. That's me all the way.
Did they ever make a Tecmo Bowl game?
On Nintendo.
Yes.
I mean, movie.
Did they make a movie of that?
Tecmo Bowl movie.
No, but in the same vein, a little older than Resident Evil was Doom, and they made the Doom games, and then they made the Doom movies. Right?
I was going to say Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very similar to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I loved in Resident Evil. If you had the first one, the second one, then the third one, and you'd get nostalgic and go back and play the first one, and you'd realize how long it took to open a door. Do you remember that? Yeah. The first one, you'd be loading the game for like 60 straight seconds trying to open a door.
Just open the doors.
Every time you went into the wrong room and had to go through the door again, you wanted to kill yourself. But love those games because that was really the first game I remember where they were actively trying to scare you playing the game, and you would. In college, we would put it on and all sit around, watch, and play it in the dark. Just turn the lights off, and just watch it like a movie. So, what other games?
I have one for the end that I'll save, but it's probably the most iconic video game ever turned into a movie.
Super Mario Brothers.
I was gonna save it for the end, Charles.
Yeah.
My son loves Super Mario Brothers movie.
I've only seen a couple minutes of it. I have not sat down and watched it, but they went and saw it in the movie theater. They love the movie.
They made so many movies. The movies from the 80s. Remember with wasn't it like who was that? Like John Leguizamo or something?
Oh, that one I've seen. Yeah, with
This newest movie.
A long time ago.
The first 15 minutes, I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell did I pay for in the movie theater?" But it was actually worth it, though.
Yeah,
it was good.
My wife even said it was good. She doesn't care about video games, but she took them and they've watched it at home. I mean, at least 6 times already. They love it.
Yeah.
One that was really, really bad was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, they love that too.
The movie?
Yeah, I can't take it. I have to leave the first floor if they're watching.
It was so bad. It was really bad.
That was Sega's first hit.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic.
Yeah.
That was their counter punch to Mario. But and I like Jim Carrey, but I don't want to see him and stuff like that.
No.
It was a very hard movie to watch.
And I'm a Nintendo kid. I never had Sega ever. So I just know of Sonic. I never played Sonic, more than a couple times. So I just don't care. Here's one. I was wondering if you were going to say this, Charles, when you said, here's one that's really, really bad. 1994 Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
Remember that movie? I don't even remember who was in it, but it was so bad.
I mean, the video game was awesome. Everyone, played that, just like Mortal Kombat. Same thing.
That's another movie.
And then you put out this movie, and then the movies are a bomb.
Another Mortal Kombat. Same thing.
Mortal Kombat came out. Charles is going to go nuts when I say this. Mortal Kombat came out, and I saw it at the midnight premiere of my 17th birthday.
He waited there in line.
Yeah, my buddy and I went.
There's no way you remember.
No way I remember
anything
that
when you're 17. No
midnight
way.
premiere, August 17th, 1995.
So here's when I say Shane doesn't remember it. He's like, it was a Wednesday, so at 12 o'clock. It was 71 degrees. I remember there was a slight chill in the air, but it was still warm.
Right.
I wore a T-shirt. I had shorts on. We went there in a Cadillac. It was red. Like, he remembers everything. That's fake.
False.
I was wearing my Candlebox T-shirt.
But Mortal Kombat was fantastic. The like at that age range, I don't know. I've watched it since. It's not a wonderful movie, but the soundtrack is awesome. They like legit had some different bands and EDM type bands, electronica on there and stuff. So Mortal Kombat was a big one when that came out. I remember.
I was going to say Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. That was a great game.
I mean, I played the game, and then the movie came out, and the music, to the movie was just awesome.
Yeah,
very like eerie and like
creepy.
Scary. Yeah, just creepy. So
yeah,
it fit it perfect.
And I'm looking at a list of names to try to jog some memories here. A big one jumping off the page here, obviously, is Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
Lara Croft, Angelina Jolie.
I didn't really play that game.
I played that.
I played one of them. That later on, what came out that was similar that I played.
Turok?
No. Uncharted. Remember Uncharted?
Oh, I've heard of it.
It was basically like a guy, and he was kind of like a similar kind of game. But one of those was a game of the year too. That was a very good game.
Brendan Fraser.
One of the video games I loved, and they supposedly made a movie of it. I've never watched it. Double Dragon.
Yes,
I loved the video game. No idea they actually had a movie of it though.
Classic of the game.
They do, and it came out November 4th, 1994.
Oh my god!
I have no idea who's in it.
No way it could be good if it's from.
Put it on Apollo.
I have to watch it
on Apollo.
All right,
that show, that video game was amazing.
All right, you ready? Starring Robert Patrick, Mark Dacascos, Scott Wolf, Julia Nixon, and Alyssa Milano.
Every actor you name, Chris, like, oh yeah.
The first two, Robert Patrick and Mark Dacascos, whatever his name is, those two I know, and then Scott Wolf sounds familiar.
Yeah, wasn't he like Party of Five guy?
Scott
Robert Patrick is T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Terminator, yep.
Yeah. And I think Scott Wolf was considered for the first.
You don't know who T-1000 is?
No.
The liquid metal guy.
Oh, okay.
Terminator 2.
Gotcha. All right. Now I know who it is.
Charles,
I'm not good at names.
Were you stuffed in a closet during the 90s?
Chewbacca?
I'm not good at names. Like
T-1000. How are you not good at that?
He's so mad that he can't remember anything that he has to make fun of when I remember one single thing.
The worst part is that T-1000 played a cop the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's the reason why Charles is a cop.
I hate cops.
I don't get
it. and don't forget, what we just said that he was in recently that we saw was he was the main bad guy in the second season of Jack Reacher. Robert Patrick.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah. So he's we haven't seen him in a ton of stuff since Terminator. He's been in a lot, I'm sure. But
John doesn't know any of these people.
I do know the people.
He knows Alyssa Milano.
I've never seen Reacher.
Reacher's awesome.
Everyone
oh my god, this show is awesome.
I still have not watched it.
Chris, you would lose your mind with the show.
You would love it.
You would say this is like my favorite show.
You would love it for like a season, but it's the same thing constantly. It just gets really. It's like very monotonous. It's the same thing.
It doesn't seem like it's a show that I would like.
You would like the first season, and that's it.
Oh my! Do you watch the second season? The second season is completely different.
You know what the second season is? The first season. It's the same thing. The same thing happens.
Folks, if you're watching and you've seen the 2 seasons of Reacher, please comment below and set Charles straight. Folks.
I was listening to an interview with Dana White, the UFC guy.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he never watches TV. He never watches any movies whatsoever. He just doesn't watch anything ever on TV. The only show he watches is Reacher. He loves it. He thinks it's the most amazing show that has ever come out.
It is awesome. If you go watch the show, you're going to be like, Charles, I'm never listening to you again. I'm only going to listen to Shane.
No,
Shane, I have said that already 1,000 times in my life.
I said season 1 is great.
Yeah.
Season 2, it's like the same thing. Like the same thing keeps on happening.
It's a completely different mission. There's all new characters. It takes place in a different location. There's only like one. He's the only character that's from the first season. Oh God! All right. So Double Dragon. I don't even recall that.
I'm adding it on my list.
I'm going to throw out this one because we have to mention this one, The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
You got to mention that one. That's a
So
huge one.
I never played the game. Did you guys play it?
No,
What is
my
it?
daughter
That was-
did.
that was past my
She
time.
Yeah.
My daughter played the game, so she was all about it when the thing came out. And there's a little girl in the show, so she loved it.
Yeah.
So as soon as that came out, I didn't even know anything about it. And she's like, "We got to watch this TV show called The Last of Us." I'm like,
It's amazing.
another apocalyptic end of the world. Like, I'm so over The Walking Dead after the 89th season and like, whatever. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch another one.
Mhm.
She's like, no, this is different. You got to watch. And within the first 5 minutes, I was hooked on it.
Yeah.
So good.
It's
So
so good.
So
And
that
I knew
interview-
nothing about it. So
That interview at the beginning with the
Yeah.
with the botanist or whatever
hmm
is just like just so captivating.
And that's a real interview, right?
No.
Oh, it wasn't? It
It's
wasn't
like-
based
it's
on anything?
based on like the Dick Cavett show.
Okay.
But it's not really.
What was it? Was some other end of the world thing
What show?
recently?
Dick Cavett.
Who?
Oh God.
Dick Cavett.
Weirdest game. No idea.
Folks, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/588talkingtoys. For our members, they get early access to all of our episodes, the collectibles that will go up for sale. They'll get some assists in the collecting hobby with some good finds on eBay that we'll send over to you, some hard-to-find items, some great prices, as well as 5 Idiots After Dark, our series that is only for Patreon members.
And you get to find out what a dick cabbage is.
A Dick Cabbage.
Yeah.
It's Cavett.
So, real quick, we're not going to be able to
Said it 3 times.
to
It's
get
Cavett.
through a lot of this stuff, but something like
Don't even know what he's
Hitman-
talking about.
I didn't play Hitman, but that was a movie that came out that did okay.
I did that.
I remember the game.
I played the game.
Max Payne, there was a movie.
I played that
yeah.
too.
Max
Yep.
Payne video game was amazing.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Prince of Persia, I don't know the game or the movie.
No.
I'm looking at the ones that made like a good amount of money. Need for Speed, I don't remember that being a movie.
Oh, what about Gran Turismo?
Right, that just came out
Gran
recently.
Turismo.
Birds.
Did they make a movie, GTA movie?
No.
No.
Gran Turismo was one of my all-time favorites. I mean, I played that, mastering some of those tracks like hours and hours and hours. So I do want to see that show.
They never made it. I can't believe they didn't make a GTA movie. Really?
Oh my God, that'd be a rated X.
Did anyone ever play the game BioShock?
Yeah.
Yes.
The underworld
That was really good.
here, like you're underwater and stuff.
That was almost kind of like Fallout a little bit, like
It's
end
so-
of the world.
It's exactly like Fallout almost,
Yeah.
but like everything's underwater.
And you know how everything was like made by a company?
Yes.
It's very similar with Fallout too.
And so that's exactly what I was thinking of when I was
Yep.
watching Fallout. It reminded me about. So that's a movie or a show that I hope that they would maybe make, one day down the road.
You know what I want them to make? Dead Space. Do you remember that?
I feel like I played it, but I don't.
It was a
remember.
game that was not really publicized a lot, and I bought it because it was so highly rated at the time. And I was like, oh my God, this got like a 9.8 or whatever. I'm like, I have to get this game. And then it just blew up, and it was like another game of the year type game, and they came out with a second one. But you're like the engineer guy in outer space, and you have like one little plasma cutter gun.
Oh, yes.
And it's all horror and zombies and creatures.
I played it.
And it'll scare the hell out of you.
Well, anyway,
they
during
actually have, like,
ICCC, we're gonna get a couple TVs together in our room, and we're gonna start playing some video games. So if you guys want to come out, and hang out, it'll be in Charles's room.
No.
It looks like they did make an Uncharted movie, by the way. It made $400 million.
Jesus.
If you're gonna walk into our room, you need to remove your shoes.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. You need to sanitize your feet before you walk on the carpet.
You're not using our bathroom.
We will check your breath. If it's not good, we will spray something in it.
You got to bring your own controller.
Bathroom doors locked. You're not using.
Oh, the bathroom door's locked. Locked. We don't need 900 pube hairs all over the freaking floor. Disgusting.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Is that just like completely over all of our heads?
Love it.
The game, yes, but the movie was very good.
Oh, was it?
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, it's like well worth watching.
The movie just came out, I want to say like 6 months ago, and it made like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, my 4-year-old son loves the movie.
It was awesome.
He should not be watching it.
Really? You had him watch that movie?
I didn't even tell him. He learned about it at school.
Oh my God.
Next thing you know, he's playing it. He knows how to work the remote. And next thing you know, he's Five Nights at Freddy's is on. I'm like, what is this? My wife's like, how are you putting that on TV? I'm like, it wasn't me. It was him. He started watching it. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. It's Killer Teddy Bears.
It's Killer Teddy Bears.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He loves it.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this episode up in 2 minutes, but there's a lot of names on this list, guys, that I'm not even... I wasn't even aware... I'm talking about Warcraft. That was one of my favorite games, Warcraft 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play World of Warcraft, where I was playing online with other people, but I played the role-playing game 2 and 3
movie?
and StarCraft, and they were fantastic.
No, you're thinking of Oregon Trail.
Love that game. Love Oregon Trail.
Yeah, Warcraft.
So
Yeah.
I vaguely recall that there was going to be a movie for that, but it went right by me. I'm going to want to check that out now.
Was there a Pac-Man movie?
I mean,
there is not.
you can say Pokemon. I mean, that's after a card game.
Detective Pikachu.
I love John's voice of Phyllis. It's like a Phyllis voice.
There's a Pac-Man movie.
Janet.
Is it
Pokemon?
Saturday morning cartoon, but
Pokemon.
Yeah, well, Detective Pikachu I see on the list here. I
Yeah.
haven't seen
well,
that.
that's a card game before it's a video game.
Right.
Yeah, but it
Assassin's
was a card
Creed.
game that turned into a video game that turned into
Wow.
a movie.
Assassin's Creed was a movie? I love that
Assassin's
game.
Creed was a
Any of
movie.
these video games.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to go check out some of these games.
Throw it out in the comments if someone else has an idea.
Just throw it.
Madden 2017.
John's like, Madden 96? That was a good
Sergeant
one.
Slaughter versus Roddy Piper.
GoldenEye.
He's like, marbles, the marble mania.
Do they have jacks?
What was that? What was that old game where you jump over a hole? Pitfall. He's looking for Pitfall, the movie.
God. That game was awesome.
F-Zero.
F-Zero. Final Fantasy. There was a big CGI
Zelda.
movie for that, right?
Zelda. Wasn't there a Zelda movie?
No, there's like there's a trailer out there that's like fan fiction.
How have they not made a Link in a Zelda movie? Really?
I don't know. Zelda was also a game that helped start Nintendo, right?
Yeah, it's a huge game.
Huge.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah.
Huge. Yeah, I'm sure we're missing
Really
a
big
couple.
game.
I'm sure we're missing a couple
So
of
huge.
series or movies. Throw them in the comments. Let us know what we missed on this. But I think we hit on a lot of franchises that have had a movie or two and have made it to the big screen. There's been a lot of great storytelling and concepts that developed into a video game and became big hits. Why wouldn't you mind those for a movie? It feels like Hollywood a lot of the time has run out of ideas when they're constantly rehashing 80s stuff.
I was going to say the same thing. They've run out of ideas, so now they're taking video games because it's a different group of people. It's a different mindset making these things.
Yeah.
And now they're just stealing them as movies and making them.
Well, back in the day, the video games were like just an idea. Like you couldn't really make a movie out of that. You still needed somebody to write a whole movie.
Correct.
Now, something like Fallout and Dead Space and Assassin's Creed, I mean, there are fully written out screenplays basically to make these video games, and they're real actors doing the voices. I mean, these are full stories that you can make a feature film from or a series. So. All right, boys. Very good conversation. Thanks to everyone for joining us on 5 Idiots Talking Toys, as always. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on your favorite podcast app, and also comment and let us know what you thought of the episode and what things we missed. We'll see you next time on 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Good night, fellas.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.